Okay.
Hello. Gonna give everybody just a couple more minutes to get joined here. Pull up my notes. All right, we are recording this, so if you know of anybody who's at like the SBA conference or anything like that, we can send it to them afterwards. Definitely, if anybody missed out, let them know and we'll send it out to everybody. All right, and thank you everyone for joining. Of course, cameras are always optional during this meeting, but at any point, feel free to engage, turn on your camera and microphone and ask questions. But I'll go ahead and get things started. As I said, this is being recorded, so if you know anybody who is out today or isn't able to join, I know there is the conference happening in DC. So if there's anybody like that that's missing, make sure to let them know that we have recordings available and we can send it out to them. So awesome. This is our Florida Fast Innovation Ecosystem call. Welcome to anybody brand new. It's your lucky day. I'm not Jack. My name's Amanda. I'm the host. I'm just kidding. Jack's a great host, but I get to step in today. And basically, the Florida Fast program is from the SBA. We help all companies across the state and help leaders like you get connected with resources. So that way, hopefully, more of our companies go after SBIR and STTR funding. Let's see if I'm on the right thing. All right, so what is Florida Fast? We do three main things. The first is outreach with connecting and informing entrepreneurs and innovation ecosystem builders. So this is our tactic for helping inform our ecosystem builders of all the new and cool things coming up. We hope you'll share it with your entrepreneurs. There is a folder. I need to find that link, but I will send the link out and you will have a link to the folder that has like everything available that we talk about today. So if there's any links or resources that you need, we have those available to share. We also do technical assistance. We do have some webinars that we'll share later. And then we also connect with our financial support through our matching grants research program, which is ran out of UCF and USF. Once you have an SBIR, if you're curious about that or like to know more, please let our team know. So as I said, my name is Amanda. I'm a cluster manager with Synfluence. I do the Learning Science and Human Performance cluster, and I get to step in for Jack today. So today we just did the welcome. We're going to do the quick intro and updates, and then we have two speakers today. The first is Catherine Rudloff, who's on. She's an executive director at WeVenture at Florida Tech. And then we also have Susan Zellers, the program director of Ocean Exchange. I think she'll be jumping on about 1:30. So we'll do some the ecosystem and announcements actually a little before that, and then she'll kind of close us out. So this is what these calls are for. We bring on guest speakers. We do have recordings and all the follow-up materials. You can collaborate with us. So at any point, if you want to send something in the chat, have questions, anything like that, the chat box is available, or you can just go ahead and unmute yourself. All right. I think first, we're going to go through the Florida Fast, training series. Next, all we have left is the DoD program overview and the communicating with the DoD. If you missed any of the other ones that we offered this year, they are still available through recordings. They're really great. The NSF series was wonderful. There's a lot of people curious about that. So if you have anybody who's interested in any of these that are recorded, just send us a note and we can send it to you. Awesome. Please share our survey. The corridor is doing an ecosystem survey. I'm going to put that in the chat. If you'll please share that survey with all of your entrepreneurs and then also take it yourself. That would be really helpful. We're coming up close to the number of people we need to really have a good data set, but we would love to, of course, exceed expectations. So if you don't mind sharing that and answering it yourself, it would be greatly appreciated. All right. Some events that are coming up, we do have the 2024 Small Business Success Summit from the SBDC. That will be an opportunity to have all sorts of resources for small businesses. There's like panels and speakers. I think Jack is normally there, so you could actually meet and talk to him in person, which is really cool. And then additionally, coming up is the Sphere Accelerator. This is a health tech cohort that was from the Veterans Entrepreneurship Initiative. I'm going to slow down a little bit. I'm sorry, guys. The Veterans Entrepreneurship Initiative. And I'll share those links as well. This is a great opportunity. They plan to accept about 10 companies. So great opportunity for companies to go ahead and apply. I think applications, oh yeah, the deadline's in September. So definitely start sharing now. It's a good idea. This one's exciting. We have our Simfluence quarterly meetup. That's a little bias coming out because I'm part of Simfluence, but it's a great time. We're going to be at the Micaplex out in Daytona. So anybody in Volusia County area, definitely come out, see what we're up to. There is going to be a happy hour networking event. All of the cluster managers will be there so you can learn more about Simfluence and the Florida High Tech Corridor, as well as what's going on at Emory-Riddle's Micaplex. And if you're interested in joining, you can RSVP here. All right, and then these are some other events that are just coming up. We have, there's a class coming up from the USDA on the SBIRS CTR applications. I'll share that link as well. It's a really great one to share. I think this one is the Phase 0 program. So I'll send all of these in the chat, but this one's also really exciting, and it has a very close application window date. It closes July 15th. The CAPE Prize is now a worldwide competition that entrepreneurs can enter. So it's a really good one. And I'm going to put all of these. I should have more information. It's a really good one. I apologize. I have it right here. It's 50K grand prizes, and there are 5 more with 10K cash prizes in categories ranging from agriculture, health tech care, and general tech. So they have also a wild card in an energy focus area. So anybody in those areas can apply for the CAPE prize. Yeah, I have information on this one. It's a guide that walks through all components of the DOE SBIRS CTR application process. And I don't have a link for that one. I apologize. I'll find that one. Oh, I got it. I'll grab it in a minute. Okay, and then we also have the NSF's opportunity. A lot of these are about the phase 1s and phase 0s, and so I'll send all of this out because it's really just a lot of links, but I'll put it all out there. There we go. Sorry, I thought this was earlier in the PowerPoint. All right, so up next is Catherine Rudloff. She's going to speak about WeVenture and the exciting things going on there, especially the upcoming event. But instead of me introducing her, I'm going to go ahead and pass the microphone and mute myself. And I can also make it so you can share your screen.
Oh, that would be great. Thanks so much. Yeah, good afternoon, everyone. My name is Catherine Rudloff, and I'm the Executive Director of WeVenture Women's Business Center in the Florida Tech BIS College of Business over here on the Space Coast. We are a women's business center program funded in part by through a cooperative agreement with the U.S. Small Business Administration. We're one of over 155 women's business centers throughout the country. Florida has 4, with a 5th one coming online. So Jacksonville, Tampa, we're here in Melbourne. There's one in Delray Beach, and then Miami just got awarded, and that should be opening sometime later this summer. We provide low, no-cost business education training, mentorship, and leadership development classes for women. But of course, because we're federally funded, we don't discriminate based on race or gender. So any given year, about 30% of our clients are actually male-owned, or they might be like family partnerships where they're both involved. And this morning I was asked to share a little bit about myself. So I'll just start, my background. I am not a business coach. I am not one of our coaches. I am the executive director. So I'm very externally focused, working with the community to bring in mentors, clients, funders, and advisors that work with our clients. And my background really is in political communication. And I love what I do in working at WeVenture because I consider myself a really fierce advocate for women in business. I'm involved at the national level in our association, and I love to speak whenever we're in Washington to anyone who listen about still, some of the challenges that we see that women have, whether it's coming from credit, whether it's coming from that there's not loan products out there that meet what they're asking for their business. And then this spring, we were asked by the university to get a little bit more involved with the tech side of what Florida Tech does. I'm sure you all probably very familiar that we're very closely aligned with the Space Coast and the space program. We were literally started as a small private university to support the workforce that was here, building up as NASA was being built up in the 60s and 70s. So we're very closely aligned with that. And our little women's business center, we really haven't engaged that much kind of with the engineering side of the school. So this SBA Growth Accelerator Program was an awesome chance to apply for funding. And that's exactly what we did. We're going to take the proven programs that we have with our business mentorship program that really is a business acceleration program designed to help established companies either navigate change or prepare for growth is how we describe it. And what we're going to do is use the funding from the Growth Award. And I guess I'm going to share my screen now if you changed it. Perfect. Y'all see it now?
Yes.
Okay, great. So we're going to host a 2-day summit focused on supporting female entrepreneurs. And this is ecosystem building, right? With this, the Growth Accelerator Prize, it's ecosystem building. So it's a free 2-day community event. The first day really is designed to be an open house where we will hopefully speak with founders from around the area who are interested, that might be interested in participating in our business mentorship program if we're awarded phase 2, as well as recruiting more mentors. So kind of building up that more engineering and technical side and folks who've been in that space that maybe we don't have a ton of. We have some, but don't have a some. So we're recruiting mentors and we're bringing companies and finding out really what that phase 2 program will look like, but hopefully once awarded. And then Tuesday is focused all about really talking about how do we build an inclusive innovation ecosystem and make sure that we continue to support that. So the first discussion, panel discussion, is on leveraging partnerships, which we're really excited about. And I think Jack from the corridor will be helping moderate that. Our keynote speaker in the morning is Megan Wolfgram. She's a founder from here on the Space Coast and a graduate of some of our WeVenture programs, and she actually ended up on Shark Tank, and she's just grown, and I can't wait for everyone to hear from her and hear her story about how she really leveraged all of the community partners for every phase of developing her product, growing her product, going from a commercial product to a consumer product. She's just got a really great story, and we're excited to share it. Our second panel discussion will be on diversifying the ecosystem and bringing in different community resource partners and talking about how we can intentionally be more supportive of diverse founders. And then in the afternoon, we're very excited. There will be a business showcase. So we're hoping that female founders from around the state really will want to come and tell us about the cool things that you're doing to a great supportive audience. Everybody's here to cheer you on and support you. And we hope to identify 3 companies that if we are awarded phase 2, would then be in that initial cohort for our business mentorship program, that Tech Accelerator program in the coming year. And then the big grand finale that we're very excited about, we have a special screening of the new documentary, Show Her the Money. This is a documentary about the disparity in lending or really investment from venture capital. Female founders get less than 3% a year. And so because we have the time, I'm going to show just a little bit of the trailer to get you all excited. They're doing a 50-city tour. We're one of only, I think, 2 stops in the state of Florida. So just coming over even to see this, and then some of the producers will be there, and at least one of the investors is on hand, and they host a panel discussion then after the screening. So it's going to be really great, really unique opportunity. And I'm going to turn my volume way up and just show you the first bit of it.
If you think about all the technology companies that we know about today, they were all funded by venture capitalists early on. Historically, women have been shut out of the venture capital world. It has been on purpose. Money is power, and this is a very lucrative industry.
I win. I was raised to believe that talking about money was in bad taste. Men always talked about it.
Someone needs to do something about this.
To be a founder takes grit. Dapper Boy is gender neutral clothing. I've been fundraising now for over a year.
And I'm going to stop there because I think we all know that feeling, right? Where, yeah, well, I don't know what to do. And who do I go to and feeling like you want to get support? So we're really excited that the whole summit is going to kind of culminate with the screening of that and that great panel discussion and then some networking afterwards. And this isn't about just the resources at Florida Tech. We've partnered with the Economic Development Commission here on the Space Coast and Groundswell, which is a local innovative startup hub that has had a lot of success in launching and growing businesses. And so it's really showcasing some of the resources, including the Women's Business Center, that are here to support innovative companies. I think I about covered everything. Are there any questions from the group?
So if there are any questions, you can type them in the chat, or you can go ahead and unmute yourself and ask any questions. I do have one question just to get us kicked off. On this call, we have people from across the state. So what's the best way for them to engage with WeVenture?
Sure. So there's two things. So one, if there's a Women's Business Center closer to you, I always suggest, like if you're in Tampa, contact the Women's Center over there. If you're in Jacksonville, they're based out of the Chamber of Commerce, so if you're in one of those kind of bigger regions, you can start with the Women's Business Center closest to you. And then otherwise you can reach out to me directly. Again, I'm kind of as executive director, that external relations person. I love to help bring in new clients, new mentors, new partners to get involved and work with. And then if you have businesses that are specifically interested or are looking and maybe they can't come to the Tech Accelerator Summit, but they would be interested in applying for the mentorship program, which can be done from anywhere. They do not have to be physically here. We do most of our Ignite mentorship sessions can be done virtually. So it is open to anyone in the state. Same thing. I would just say, have them reach out to me first, and then I'll get them in the pipeline with our program director. I'll put all of our information and my information in the chat as well. Oh, you already put the link. Thank you.
Awesome.
And I guess I'll just go one more backup. We've been a program since 2007. The other women's business centers, I think 2 or 3 of them have been around for over 20 years. And I know we don't often get into kind of the higher tech space. And that's why I think the SBA, both the people we were through the Office of Women's Business Ownership, and then those who were overseeing the Office of Innovation, that awarded this phase 1 prize. We're really excited that, we're taking an established program, that we have had great success helping businesses scale and grow, and just having more of a focus on making sure we are applying it to these more high-tech industries and more innovative technologies.
That's awesome. I'm kind of excited for the movie as well as the event. It's going to be a great day.
Yeah, I'm super excited.
Awesome. Are there any other questions? All right, well, if you have any questions at any point, go ahead and put them in. I always have to sit on things for a little bit, so I totally get that. But thank you, Catherine. That was wonderful. And again, if there's any other questions or anything, don't be afraid to ask still. Up next, we have Susan, who actually just jumped on. It was perfect timing. Thank you so much for joining, Susan. Susan Zellers is with us from the Ocean Exchange, and I'm going to also pass it over to her and let her introduce herself and what she's doing.
Thank you, and was perfect timing. Thanks for letting me come a little bit late. We presented, I think, to you the same group last year as well. So Ocean Exchange is a global ecosystem, but I happen to be located in Sarasota, Florida. So we are remote. The CEO, Millie Pitts, works out of Philadelphia, and I out of Sarasota, and we have our annual event in Fort Lauderdale every year. We work with the marine research hub over there, as well as the Marine Industry Association there for our event, which happens in October. So we are, again, a global ecosystem. We have one mission only, and that is to accelerate the adoption of innovative solutions for healthy oceans. And the sustainable blue economy, which is a line we've added just in the last couple of years, as those words, the blue economy, have really taken on meaning in such a broad scope now. So we do that in two ways. We bundle corporate and family philanthropy together, and we push it out to startups in a contest of sorts. So we've put out an open call for solutions. That call for solutions is active and out there right now. And we accept applications from startups typically that have a working prototype. So a TRL 6 to 8 is our real sweet spot for applications. That application process is open through August the 15th. We choose a group of semifinalists from about 200 applications. We narrow it down to 30 semifinalists, and then we bring it down to 15 finalists who we invite to Fort Lauderdale for our event, which is October 27th through 29th. And that goes on our dime. So we pay for our startups to come from all over the world. In 2022, all three of our winners of our $100,000 award, which is a non-dilutive award, came from out of the country. So we see a real mix of applications from all over the world. So we pull in all of these applications, and I guess I can share my screen and show you what. Maybe I can. I'm not familiar with where that is, but there it is. Nope, I can't do it. I don't know why I can't do it. Let's see. There, maybe now. Oh, share screen. Share that. Share that. Okay, now you can see it. So our open call for solutions, we have 3 awards this year. One of them is sponsored by Wallenius Wilhelmsen, which, if you're not familiar with them, they are the largest roll-on, roll-off shipping company in the world. And they are looking for ways to decarbonize their footprint, both in the waters and also on land. They have a very large land footprint wherever they are as well. And so they look for solutions that can help them to decarbonize shipping or to reduce their carbon footprint. We have 2 awards this year that are Neptune Awards. In the past, we've only had 1 Neptune Award, and we had a 3rd award that was kind of a climate award. But we got the most applications every year for the Neptune Award, so we're reflecting that this year with 2 Neptune Awards for $100,000. And Neptune is just a large bucket that holds absolutely anything to do with oceans. So it's really an interesting mix of kind of apples and oranges. You've got everything from wind energy and wave energy to fishery management, to biodiversity measurement, and everything in between. So we see a real mix of things that are looking for solutions for our oceans within that Neptune bucket. So we take and narrow this down eventually to 15 finalists who come to Fort Lauderdale, and they compete on a stage in front of a hand-curated group of what we call delegates. And if you're not a startup and you're on this call and you're curious about Ocean Exchange, would like to know more about it, would like to potentially attend our event in the fall, we would love to have you. And I can certainly send you out a save the date for October 27th through 29th. The voting delegates are from all different, some of them are subject matter experts, some of them are academics, some of them are venture capitalists, and some of them are just business people who have looked at starting companies before or growing companies before and can look at these startups from that lens. It's a tremendous opportunity not only to see a group of startups that are just, kind of cutting edge in this industry, but it's also an opportunity to mix with others that are kind of working in this field from all different angles. So the process is a couple of days of presentations followed by questions and answers from the audience. It's a really robust audience of people who have a lot of questions and spend a lot of time, talking with these startups. And then after every couple of presentations, we break people out into tables where they can discuss further what they've heard. And that's an opportunity that really builds the value for coming and acting as a delegate, and that you have an opportunity to meet with some of these other folks to find out where your worlds collide and how you can work together. So not only does it help the startups, but it seems to help our delegates become more connected with, various different folks working in this field. It is a commitment of a couple of days. We ask the delegates to arrive Sunday night and to be there clear through the awarding of the awards, which is Tuesday evening. But if any of you are interested, I'd love to speak to you more about that. I also can share this call for solution in a PDF form that you can pass along to any startups that you know. I work that all day, every day at this point, as far as holding office hours for startups. I have a database of several thousand startups from around the world, and I'm just always reaching out, seeing what stage they're in, and seeing how I can help them get an application in by August 15th, which is our deadline. So our applications are evaluated by a review team, and that's done pretty much all through a remote process. So we send out a pack of applications to each of them to review, and then we get together for two-hour phone calls where they first narrow it down to a semi-finalist group and a finalist group. We ask our review team and our delegates at the event to look at these solutions through in three ways: one, for their innovation; two, for their impact; and three, for their ability to execute. We really want to look at this from a business lens. You can have all the great ideas in the world, and they can be in a nice paper sitting on a shelf that you wrote to graduate from a particular university, but you may not know how to take it in and turn it into a successful business. So we really look and grade them on all three of these pieces: the innovation of it, and what makes them different from their competitors, and how have they navigated their competition this far. The impact, what is the impact on the oceans, on climate, on resiliency, and how are they able to measure that? And finally, execution. We look for these big global and scale solutions that are really going to make a difference kind of worldwide if they're executed properly. So that's sort of a little nutshell of what the event is and how to apply. I mentioned at the beginning that we kind of work in two worlds, both this event, which is really, pushing these people and getting them together and accelerating them. But the other side of what we do is we are ecosystem builders. So through our process of all of our review team, all of our delegation that comes to our event, we work with, I guess since 2011, so 13 years of applicants, and continuing to follow them, continuing to connect them where they need to be connected with this group that we have curated through many years of working within this field. And that ecosystem building, I think, as all of us know, it's connections that make the world go round. I have a daughter who's a senior at USF, and I'm telling her that every day. It's about the contacts that you make, staying in touch with those contacts. You never know when it is that you can use them. And we preach that a lot to these startups, especially startups, because getting startups, particularly those out in the middle of an ocean, off the ground, has its own set of challenges. This year, Ocean Exchange is also lucky enough to be phase 1 winners of the NOAA Climate Resilient Accelerator Grant. And we are teaming up with a group to apply for that phase 2 funding, which is as much as $15 million. A couple of the groups that we're teaming up with are local, the St. Pete Innovation Center, many of you know, and of course, the University of South Florida, and also Tampa Bay Wave are joining this team of folks who are applicants for this second phase. what that grant is looking at doing is not just coming up with a solution that works really well, but coming up with the metrics for that solution and collecting that data. The farther we get into this blue economy, the more we realize that we don't have and we're not collecting that. You can have a solution, you know, that if you sequester carbon into concrete, that is a way of sequestering, but who's measuring it further down the line? Who's making sure of what is coming as a result of that solution? That and everything associated with measuring biodiversity and our impact on the oceans, of what it is our footprint is looking like, or what this grant is about. And I think that's really exciting. Whenever people ask me, what am I seeing this year? What is the trend? What's different from last year? That's it. It's about measuring, and particularly those who are doing digital twins and actually looking at the biodiversity within our ocean and how it's impacting. Might have been helped around forward a little bit by the whales and the sad beaching of the whales in New Jersey area, and why are they doing that? And some people saying it has to be the wind farms, and some people saying it has to be, the currents or the changes in temperature. But again, we don't know. And as we look at all of this crowded space working in the oceans now, it's important that we take a step and take a minute and start looking at
Yes.
are impacting them and what kind of a difference that we can make if we take a more measured step moving forward. So I've talked a lot, and I'm gonna stop the share and come back and see what kinds of questions I can answer for all of you.
Once again, so if there are any questions, you can send them in the chat or just come off mute and ask directly. I do have a question just to get things started. What makes a company a good fit for the Ocean Exchange?
So, that's I take you back to what our mission is. I mean, it has to be innovative, and it has to have that impact on the oceans. That makes a good fit. But there's another side to it. Can you be successful in the business? You can have a great idea. In fact, we see people who apply more than 1 year and they haven't really moved. So there is a business aspect of this, and that is something that, sometimes science and business in that collision, they don't completely understand how to do that. So I spend a lot of time with startups on the phone, recollecting my old background, which was the newspaper business back when you had a broadsheet. And when you had a broadsheet, the most important thing was above the fold on the front page, and saying something within that above the fold on the front page that gets them to jump to the other pages to get that information. And that's the same thing as any event or contest, is that you have a lot of different people looking at this from a lot of different lenses. How are you getting your message across? And is your message in the end something that's going to make a difference for our oceans? And so those pieces are all part of the importance of this.
Awesome. Are there any other questions? All right, any final thoughts or anything?
Well,
Yeah, I got a question I want to ask. Now, does the grant include like securing clean waterways or clean or efficient drinking sources, or is this just primarily for like the marine life?
It does. We've had desalinization projects do very well and become finalists. We are now starting to see some waters like Great Lakes and others with solutions and applications for their resiliency. So it absolutely can include coastal systems as well as even some inland water systems.
Awesome. Any other questions? All right. right, well, again, if you ever think of questions that aren't answered or they come to you later, we like to connect people, so we'll get you answers. So don't be afraid to send them in later if you think of them. Thank you, Susan, and thank you, Catherine, again for presenting and telling us more. So a couple of ESO announcements. The first is to please join the Florida Fast Network. If you're not already a part of it, please go ahead and sign up with us. So that way, you can get reminders and things like that. Additionally, it'll open up all sorts of resources. And we are trying to create a network, so we also will share, you as a resource to some of our entrepreneurs as well. So definitely please get connected if you're not already. Our next call is Tuesday, July 16th, 2024. Jack will be back, so you'll have him and not me. And thank you so much for your time. That brings us to the end. We were really fast today. I'm going to say the word was efficient. But if you have any other questions, any thoughts, anything good for the order kind of deal, please go ahead and feel free to unmute yourself or submit them. Again, there will be a follow-up email with the recording for anybody who missed it, as well as with all the links and a link to the folder that has the PowerPoints and stuff like that in it. Thank you all so much for joining, and I will let you have almost a whole half hour back of your day.